Hello and welcome to your favorite show. These are the crossroad conversations that Keya has with her friends on the Be Happier podcast. It's raw, it's real, it's unfiltered, unedited. So if you see us rolling our eyes or making faces, this is what it is. So you watch it on YouTube and you will get this. So today I have one of my bestie, Amelia Deserve Pickett. I just call her Amelia. And she is so fantastic. She is so fantastic. And she saw me before I saw her. And of course, it was love at first sight. We are sisters from different misters, if you would. And I'm not even going to try to introduce my friend here, my sister from another mother. There you go. So Amelia has done much, achieved a lot, and she means too many things to me as a nutritionist, as an entrepreneur, as a mother. So without further ado, there you go. No editing. I will hand over the mic to Amelia so she can tell you in her words who she is, what she does, what makes her show up and shine every day, just like you see her. What you see is what you get, and that's Amelia Pickett. Go ahead. Pickett. Sorry, I always make that mistake. Go ahead.
That's all right. Thank you so much, Keya. Thank you for that warm welcome. And as you said, yeah, sisters from another mother. I'm so happy to have you in my life. Thank you. And thanks for inviting me on your show. So, as you said, my name's Amelia. I'm a nutritionist. I'm a mom. I'm a grandmother of two. And yeah, I love nutrition. I absolutely love nutrition. I love helping people with their health. I love keeping fit. And health is wealth, and that's what I'm about.
Mm-hmm. Yes, she loves nutrition. And who doesn't love nutrition? And I have heard this in the past, but when Amelia said it, it hit me. And I use it often that when you have your health, you can have many wishes and choices. But when you don't
Absolutely.
have your health, you have only one wish and one choice and one longing and one prayer. May I have my health, because health is your true wealth. So
Absolutely.
tell our friend who's listening in right now how you got started on this journey of nutrition. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so it goes back a few years. I have been in working in credit management, finance for many, many years. And I think about 10 years ago, one of my older brothers fell ill. He got cancer. Now, he was living in West Africa, and the health service out there isn't very good. The facilities aren't very good. I'm living in the UK, and there was very little other than sending money out there. There was very little I could do to help. And I just wanted him to be well. I wanted him to be well. And I just went all out. So I was working in finance, but I started to do research online into how I could help, because I did what I could, sent the money out, but there weren't that many doctors. Before we knew that it was cancer, I just thought, you know, it was something we could do with food. We could just change his diet. We could just give him some vitamins, I don't know, and help him. He'll get back to health, but it wasn't so. I did everything everything I could possibly do, research into how I could help, because at that point we were told he only had a few months to live, but I didn't want to accept that. So, I'd come home every day and just go online, look for doctors. At one point, I was thinking of sending him out to India, because a lot of people out in Sierra Leone, which is where my family are from, seem to be going down that path. But he was so ill, he was too weak to move. It wasn't an option. So I just went on, just looking every day, come home from work. And my late husband at the time noticed how interested. I just kept telling him, did you know this? Did you know that? Because whilst I was doing my research, I came across a lot of other things to do with food, how food can help us, when it goes, or we eat to live and for energy, but when beyond that, we have functional foods that we can have to help us with things like cancer and gut health and all that sort of thing. But I got so engrossed in nutrition and just started to fall in love with it. And one day my husband says, "You're obviously so into this." And I must add, I wasn't really enjoying my job. I was successful in what I was doing, but I wasn't fulfilled. And they say things happen for a reason, although I would rather my brother hadn't gone sick. But anyway, cut a long story short, my husband says, "Why don't you go into nutrition? Because all you ever talk about is nutrition." And at the time I thought, no, I was in my late 40s, early 50s, I think. And I've been doing my job for years. I knew it inside out, and I thought it's rather silly, to walk out of something, to go into a new territory. But my husband just kept saying, because he could see, you live with someone, you could see that I wasn't happy, and I've just talked to anybody who would listen. So finally, I started looking at universities. I thought, going back to school at this age was just it was going to be terrible. But being the man that he was, he went, "Look, just go for it, I'll support you. You got the brains, you could do it, just do it, just do it." So I started applying, and luckily for me, the very first university I applied at offered me a space. So I then broke it to my family that I'm going to leave my job and go into nutrition, and everyone was like, "Are you sure what you're doing? Don't do it. You're going to start from scratch. You might not even get a job. You're older. And I could see what they meant, but my mind was made up, so I went for it. And yeah, applied, got a space, went for it. By then I was so deep into nutrition. All I ever did, and every day I bought nutritional books. I went on webinars, on live free sessions, everything nutrition. I just went for it. So cut a long story short, I turned up at university on my second day for classes. It was a chemistry class. I was absolutely horrified. I walked in and all the students were like 18, 19-year-olds. And there I was, 51. And it was a chemistry class. I'd done chemistry at school, but it just blew my brains. I thought the periodic table just looked so different from how I remembered it. There were chemical elements and chemicals on there. I thought, I'm sure these weren't on here when I was at school. And it was such a struggle. It was such a struggle, going, just even doing the coursework and keeping up with the youngsters, and I just felt at that moment that I'd made a big mistake. I thought I should never have left the job that I know to come and do just because my brother was ill. And I told my husband, he went, "Don't worry, it's early days." So I spoke to my lecturers and just went for extra lessons. And cut a long story short, I finished off, I got a first class, so I was really happy with that. And the rest is history, and I've never looked back.
Yes, so you not only have a bachelor's, but even a master's, and you're still focusing on, what's your specialty now that you're focusing on?
I'm focusing on midlife women hormones. I've gotten
Oh,
into because being a woman I'm 59 now, being a woman as well who's gone through all the, fluctuations. And I just want to empower women in midlife. I think just because you're 40s or 50s, 60s, so whatever, you can do whatever you want. And if you don't have health, if you don't feel well within yourself, forget menopause and all that, you can't achieve anything. And why not? It's kind of like a revolution. Like you've got women in their 70s and 80s starting up businesses, and why not? And that's my bit, to empower them to take care of their health, not to sort of not to be limited by health restrictions or whatever. You just take your health into your own hands. I know in the case of my brother, there's things that can happen and you've got absolutely no control of, but for the most of it you have. And that's my message, that's my mission, to reach out to women in general, women in midlife like myself, to take a hold of their health so they could live their dreams. They could be the best version of themselves.
So I heard quite a few things, and although I have my pen over here, I do not have any paper to take notes, so I could counter those and ask you to go deeper. But what's coming up for me is, so you went through multiple changes. Uh, you pivoted your career from a financial expert, now you're a nutrition expert, and also your health. So it took yes, you had the support of your husband. And I am so sorry, and I'm sniffing right now because I heard of your brother and cancer, and I have known that you do not have your husband is now your angel in the celestial realms
Absolutely.
right now.
Yes.
But still, they triggered something in me, and my nose is like, oh, where's my tissue? I need to blow my nose, because
Oh,
like
oh,
it's like,
bless you.
yes, every time it is so hard to believe that the people we love the most leave us
Absolutely.
quicker.
When we least expect it, in my
Yeah,
case as well. Yes.
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 Yes, it's not like a 99-year-old man, like Prince Philip, like, okay, he had lived that life, like
Yes.
you have young kids and they don't have the dad. So you get to be the mom and the dad
True.
and starting a new business. So tell me, what is it that you tell yourself every day that makes you want to roll out of bed at all and get going? I know we roll out of bed because we know to go to the bathroom, but
Yeah.
then you always have that option to go back and curl under the covers, especially now that we have winter going on. At some part of the planet there's winter, it's in the northern hemisphere or southern hemisphere, and we always have that choice, but you choose not to. You choose to be
Mm.
in charge of your life, of your health, of your enterprise, of your business, of
Mhm.
your children. Like, tell me, what is it that makes you choose that for
Do
yourself?
that. Okay, well, first of all, my children. So I've got four children, three boys and a girl. So I had children at a young age, and then I had children at a later age. So my youngest is 15, and he's not very well. Unfortunately, he was diagnosed with Crohn's disease last November. So my children are the main thing. I have to be for all of them. My adult children and my two younger ones. I have to be around for them because, as you said, I'm all they've got. And for myself, I owe it to myself. I owe it to my late husband. He was such a force to be reckoned with. He was there for me, as I mentioned earlier, when I was changing my career. He was holding the fort because I was in my 50s. I didn't want to do this part-time. I knew that I didn't want to go back to the job I had been doing because it wasn't for me. Right in there when
Mhm,
something's not for you. So he said to me, I will work and you go and do your degree. And when you finish, you can get a job and you'll be happy and we can build together. That was the man he was. And so his memory, I'm human like everyone else, and I have bad days and good days. And
mhm,
sometimes I just don't want to do anything. You get the grief, and I'm still grieving after 3.5 years. But I'm someone who practices gratitude. I look around me and I see everything that I've got. I choose to focus on what I've got rather than what I haven't, and that is quite a lot. And so I use that to counter the bad days. And I say, Amelia, your husband was there. His name was John. He was there for you through thick and thin. And I could just hear his voice. He was just such a fun, lovely human being. I could just hear him say, get up, girl. Come on, you've got it. Get up. Stop moping around. Every time I feel down, I talk to him. I talk to him every day. Talk to
mhm,
him, the kids, I walk up and down the stairs. On a bad day, on a good day, I tell him what's happened. And I can almost hear his voice, his encouraging voice, because as I said, he's the reason why I am who I am today. So that keeps me going.
mhm.
And just the love for life.
You
So
got
many,
three anchors. Some people
absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
so
So,
maybe I know we are all equally blessed. We are
yes.
all equally blessed, but to recognize our blessings.
Hmm.
So you have your children, you have your grandkids, you have your husband, his voice in
Hmm.
your head,
Yep.
and the love for life, the gratitude. When you talked about gratitude, that was like, again, another thing to anchor me is gratitude in your attitude. You're grateful for what you have, and you're
True.
grateful for the things you used to have and are no more part of your journey, but they still are. So
True.
go find an anchor. And until you have, and if you are that person who feels that you don't have an anchor yet, lean on to a coach. Go find
Absolutely.
someone who will hold the space for you so you can do this for yourself.
True.
Because
Everybody needs a mentor in life.
mhm,
Doesn't matter what stage you're at, you know, there's always more to learn, and there's always going to be someone there who's going to lift you up in life. So yeah,
mhm,
everyone should have a mentor, someone to
yes,
look up to, because we're all human. And as I said, you're never going to be all there and happy. We need a mentor that's going to walk you through, just hold your hand, or just teach you how to come through on the bad days. Emotional intelligence, because think
yes.
life happens, things are going to get thrown at you, and we just need to learn how to accept those not so good situations and carry on in life.
Yes, definitely. We need that. And human beings are social creatures.
Hmm.
I call myself an introvert. And like one of our coach, Tim Han, he says, sometimes I lean on being an indoor bird because it's
Yes.
so comfortable. I have my
Yes.
electricity, I have my water running, the bathroom is working, the kitchen, there's fire. I don't need to go out. But here I come out and I hang out with people because there is a part of me that always wants to connect with people, always wants to learn, always wants to share, always wants to give. That's why I do what I do, although I'm an introvert. But here is what's coming up for me as you're sharing your story is you
Hmm.
even, like your husband said, okay, then you'll get a job, but you did not get a job. You are a solopreneur. You
I am.
started your own practice.
Yes.
So there might be people listening in. I'm sure there always are because I keep hearing from them. Is like they have a job, they're not satisfied in the job, and now they want they are thinking of something else. And yesterday I read something on Google or some article somewhere is like when you have worked and then like even in midlife, like sometimes
Hmm.
college kids take a break, you know
Yeah.
but and professors go on sabbaticals, but us people with a job,
Hmm.
it's an unheard of thing. Like I have three children myself, but every time I had my child, I was ready to go back to work because I had the fear. I was in my 20s and early 30s. I had the fear, if I don't go back, somebody else will get the job and I'll have to start from
From
square
scratch.
one.
Yeah.
Because when I came to work, and this is in India, and I was an engineer, and there were two other ladies who came to work, and they had taken a break to raise their kids, and they were also engineers. They had
Yeah.
legitimate degrees and they had experience from before, but technology had changed, and they came back, and people would look at them like we were in our early 20s and they were in the early 30s, and we would call them auntie. Oh, this auntie, I never did it, but I used to hear people say like, oh, they are older
Yeah.
people, something like that. And I, and at that time, I said, like, I'll never let this happen to me. Yet, in 2001, when the towers came down and I lost my job, I was like so happy to be home with my youngest, with all
Yes.
my kids. And my youngest was 1 year old at that time. But I knew I had to do something. I'm 57 now, like you're 59, and look at you, gorgeous as anything, like an
Oh,
angel.
thank you, Keya.
And
You're
oh, you're,
gorgeous too, my love. You're very gorgeous,
oh my God.
inside and out.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. You need to have it in you to see it in someone else. I know that.
Yes.
And I talk to my friends in India and I talk to people from India, and they are all in the same age. And they are they're all retiring or have already retired and they have accumulated a lot of wealth and they're traveling and living that life, right?
Yeah.
But in the US, when you are 57, you don't think of retiring. You're like, oh my God, I got to retire. I have bills to pay. I have
Yes.
my mortgage. I have all of this
Yes.
stuff. So when I tell people in India that I'm still working, oh, you're working still? And I'm like, yeah, I am working still.
Totally get that.
And
Yeah.
sometimes people have this feeling like, oh, poor thing, she has to work. And I'm like, no, I love my work.
You choose to
I will,
work.
I will
Absolutely.
work till my last day, till my dying breath. I will be working with someone or other and helping them.
Same here. Same here. I echo that. Yep.
Right?
And why
Exactly.
not? Why not? The world is changing. Women, things are
Yeah.
changing. It's like a revolution. We're not tied to the kitchen sink anymore. You could be 60, 70, 80 and start a business. And you see
Yes.
a lot of that. I have a lot of friends who are
Mhm.
doing that. So
So let's
great.
talk a little bit about that. That pivot, you did not take a sabbatical. I mean, you went to work as a student and you had students who were like 30 years younger than you as your
Absolutely.
classmates, and you
Absolutely.
and you made it work for yourself. You did it
Yes.
for yourself. Yes, I know you had the support of your husband and someone listening and saying, oh, I don't have, I'm a single mom and I have my own kids and I don't have support, but you always have. All you have to do is just recognize. And here's
True.
one business tip: ask.
Yes.
Ask for help. There
For
is
help.
no ego, no shame, no guilt in asking for help. And if you don't know who to
Absolutely.
ask for, just
Hmm.
ask the universe, I need help.
I need help. Yes.
And a podcast like this or a YouTube video like this will show up in
Yes.
front of your face, and you're like, oh my God, they did it at
Yes.
51. I think I can do it. I'm not 51 yet.
Yes. Yes.
It can do it. So, what is that conversation or the question they need to ask themselves according to you? Like, because you did not go get a job, you started
Mm,
your enterprise from square one. I don't like to say ground zero, I like to
mm.
say square one, because anything times zero is a zero, but
Yeah.
anything times one is at least whatever it is.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that decision making phase of your life when you decided to not go for a job but start your own practice.
Well, I could say it was mainly to do with my age. I knew, so I've worked, 59, obviously, worked. I didn't want to work for anybody. From the minute I decided to go and do nutrition, I wanted my own practice. So when I was studying, I did work experience, obviously, too, and I've done a lot of unpaid work. So I practiced on family and friends. I've done that a lot. So it's kind of like working, but not being paid. So you need to know what you want. For me, it was the age thing. I didn't want at this stage in my life. So my husband died 3.5 years ago. And then we had the funeral, and then boom, it was lockdown. So that in itself, that was lockdown, as you know, a whole year, that helped make the decision that I wanted to do this, because then I started to talk to friends. I started to practice. Anybody who would listen to me, and my mom used to say, oh, Dr. Pickett is here. That was the joke. So the main thing is to decide what you want to do. If you want to work for yourself, these days, there's just so many opportunities out there. What I did and what I'm still doing, I go on a lot of courses because I'm learning. I'm still learning. Okay. I'm talking to you now and I'm not good, with the techie stuff, and pay someone. If you can't do it yourself, pay someone, or like you said, Kay, ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew from the start I wanted to work for myself. I go on a lot of webinars. I love learning. I'm still learning. I'm doing an online course and it's free. I've paid so much money to this enterprise that they tell me, they give me free courses, which is great because I'm learning. Go on webinars, look online in your field. That's the first thing. Now, for my business, you don't really need a lot of, some people say I haven't got the finances. I've had to pay out a little bit of money just for little, like the techie stuff, like Calendly and Zoom, and you need like I had a free version, which most people start off with. But fortunately, because I'm not selling a product per se, the there's not a lot of money to be paid out, so anybody could do it. Obviously, it's different depending on what field you're in.
Mhm.
So it's just wanting it badly. I want this so badly that I'm prepared to do whatever it takes to get
So
it,
what I'm so what I'm hearing you say is you have a burning desire and
absolutely.
you are following the motto of Henry Ford, who said, I don't need to know everything.
Hmm.
I just need to know the people who know the thing that I need
Absolutely.
to
It's
have what I
one
want
step
to
at a
have.
time. Absolutely. You go on the first step, don't look at the whole stairway, just take one step at a time. Because initially, I must admit, I tried to figure it, because I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. I try to figure it all out at once, and then I get frustrated because I want to see the end goal, and it's not always you have to take action. You can't say inaction isn't going to get you anywhere. And if you just need to trust the process, if you're sitting there waiting for everything there in front of you, you're probably never going to do it, because in that time, you or somebody else is going to convince you it's why you shouldn't do it, which is things that I've had. Oh, you're too old, or you shouldn't be. Why don't you just get a job at the small grocery store around the corner? You just earn a bit of money.
Yeah.
I actually had someone say that. Why do you want to be doing this at this stage? You're a widow. Just sit back and enjoy your kids and your grandkids. A lot of people in
What
my
an
generation,
insult.
absolutely. But it's a generational thing and a culture thing, because sometimes with the cultural thing, it's just the way people have been brought up. So
Mhm.
they see, like, why are you trying to compete with young people? You've done the degrees. We know you're clever. You've got your 2 degrees. Just be a mum and a grand. As I said, I did have that. It can be quite annoying, but you don't have to listen to what people are telling you. You've
Yeah,
got a
the
mind of your own. I've
naysayers.
got a mind. You just do what's good for you. And if, like you say, if you've got a burning desire, you will find a way. The main thing is to take action.
Hmm. And
Take action. Yeah,
and
do whatever
especially
it takes. Sorry. Yeah,
no, yes, do whatever it takes. Have
do
that
whatever
do
it takes.
whatever it takes attitude. Yes. Have
Absolutely.
the discipline, have the fortitude, ask for help, and go for it. It's your dream anyway. You cannot
Very
say
true.
yes to the naysayers.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking here especially to the young men and women, girls who are listening in, is when a man does something at 80 or 90, they'll be like, wow, look at him. But
True.
if a woman does something even at 60, they'll be like, oh, I don't know why she should be doing this. And it'll be the women who will be saying this.
This is
We are
very true.
we are so insidious, especially from, ethnic cultures. Like I come
Yeah.
from India and Asia. When an older woman does something, oh, why does she need to dress like this? Why does she need to wear so much makeup? Why does she need to do her hair?
I
Why
know,
doesn't she
right?
just
Yes.
sit back and enjoy her children and
Yeah.
grandkids? Oh, she's greedy. She wants more money.
More money. Yes. I've
She
had
wants
that.
to be
Yes.
famous. She wants to do this. She wants to compete with it. We
Wants to
do this
compete with
to
the
ourselves.
younger generation. Yeah.
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 Oh, it's only women who go through midlife crisis. Men never go through it, right? It's
Mm,
it's only women. I have heard another thing. Oh, suddenly you're being a feminist now. And what does that mean, being a feminist? You
mm,
know? So you will hear every flavor that will get the doubt to come within you.
that's true.
Don't do that to yourself.
No,
I'll just say, don't do that to yourself.
you can't let, there's just too much noise out there, and not everyone's in the position to give you advice. Some people just give you their opinions. Some people just pull you down, like you said, naysayers.
Hmm.
Everything you say is but. And the main message I'd like to get out there, don't be afraid of failure. Because if you fail at something, you don't see, I don't even want to use the word fail. You've just found another way of how not to do whatever it is you've done. Just go on. Because sometimes if you just go into something, it's all working, and you don't really learn. Sometimes it's good to have some knockbacks. So
Hmm.
you don't go in overconfident, and just pick yourself up, because I've tried a lot of things and it hasn't worked, but it's made me who I am. It's made me stronger, it's made me resilient, and it's made me confident. So as I said initially, as long as it's your burning desire, it's what you know that you want to do, just go for it. Just go for it. Surround yourself with positive people who are going to give you that support, like my husband did. So if I had an unsupportive husband, it would never have happened, because the ones who are closest to you are the ones that you rely on. If you have someone you're living with and you can't do this, you shouldn't do this, you mustn't do this, the chances are, if you're not strong-willed, you would never get off your feet, you would never do it. So surround yourself with like-minded people, people who are going to support you regardless of what mistakes you make. And yeah, that stands you in good stead, and that will get you on your way to getting to where you need to be and where you want to be.
And where you deserve to be. And when you talked about
Absolutely.
the supportive husband, I did not have a supportive husband. I had an unsupportive husband. I had a divorce because I went from being an engineer into being a hypnotherapist. From a nuclear physicist, I'm a hypnotherapist now. And my husband said, "You went to college, you finished your degree, you got an A honors, good for you. Now you need to get a job." And I'm like, no one is putting a signboard out there saying, "Oh,
No.
all hypnotherapists can apply." No, I'm going to work for myself. And you said, you knew that you wanted to work for yourself. So I used to call myself psychologically unemployable. I am I cannot work for anyone anymore ever again. And even now, as a coach, I help
Yeah,
my friends with some technology for free. When
yeah,
I was an engineer, I used to
yeah.
help with coaching and healing for free. And now that I work as a coach and a healer, I do technology for free.
You're
And
very good at that, Kaya, as I experienced. Very, very good.
and
I
one,
aspire to have your knowledge in the techie stuff someday.
you just need to hire someone to do it so you can focus on being a nutritionist. So one
True.
of my teachers said that you just don't like technology anymore, right? Although you're so good at it, because I was helping him over Zoom with
Yeah,
something on his computer. I said, no, I have no problem with technology. I just don't want to deal with corporate politics, period. With
yeah.
people management, with all this ego of this broken and battered uh, souls that think somehow it's my fault,
Mm.
because men will attack you. Women gang up with men to attack other women.
Very true. Yeah, that does happen sometimes. Yeah, and it's hurts more when it's from another woman. Yeah.
Woman, yes. So you need
Mm.
a support system. You need a team that will hold you, that will lift you up. And that's how we found each other, didn't we? You know,
Absolutely, absolutely.
we started our buddies group on WhatsApp. That's how,
Yes.
that's, and it
And
was
you
pure.
set that up. Yeah, I was so grateful for that. And look at this was what 5 months ago. And look at us now.
Yes, look at,
Yeah.
and you can do this. And it's
Mm.
women supporting women. It's
Women.
us
True.
in our own sisterhood. In fact, the word
True.
sisterhood didn't even exist in the dictionary until a
Mm.
few years. It was always about the brotherhood, the brotherhood, the brotherhood.
Yes.
Heard, oh, women
True.
can't do this. There's a saying in India, oh, 10 men can sleep in the same room, but 2 women can't be in the same kitchen. And I'm like, because in the kitchen they're working. Tell me 2 men working out of the same office cube. You guys can't. So don't come up
No.
with all these sayings that
No.
that makes us fight with ourselves, with each other.
True.
Don't do
Mm.
that.
Mm.
So as we wrap up today's conversation, and I know we will have so many more, but I want people to have
Absolutely.
digestible chunks. What is
Mhm.
one thing, Amelia, you want to leave our audience with right now, our viewer with right now?
What I'd like to say from my experience is, don't let anybody tell you you can't. Don't let anybody decide your future. If you want to do something, you can. Just keep telling yourself you can. And don't let age be a barrier, especially being a woman. Don't, I've done it. I went to university. I graduated, I think, age 54. And so what? I didn't do it in my 20s or 30s. When I did it, that was the right time. And look at me now. So don't ever put yourself down. take whatever steps you need to take to get you to your dreams, to your goals, and look after your health. Look after your health, because if you don't have health, you don't really have anything. You know, you see people with all the millions in the world, but if they're not healthy, if they haven't looked after themselves, especially us ladies in midlife, we need to look after ourselves even more, because you get all the challenges. And just look after yourself, put yourself number one. That's the first thing, and then everything will follow. When you've got good health, you can do whatever you aspire to be. So that's my main mission. Health is wealth.
I forgot to ask you this question. Although I said this would be a mic drop moment, I'm going to stretch it a little bit. Are you okay with
Okay.
that?
Yes,
Okay.
that's fine. Go for
Tell
it.
us about your hormone reset program and that brain fog that you help people with, avoiding it
Okay.
completely. A little bit about the hormone reset, just in two
So,
minutes.
yes, so I
And we'll
went
have a
through.
longer conversation later on. Okay.
Yes,
I
that's
promise.
fine. I'm looking forward. No, absolutely. So I had a lot of challenges, like most women, a lot of hormonal challenges in my 40s, mainly because of the menopause. But as you know, Keya, you've been to a couple of my talks. I don't like to just say the menopause. You can have hormone imbalances at any stage in your life. So this is I've had a lot of my friends come to me with, oh, I'm so tired. I've got brain fog. I don't know what to eat. And that was the main focus. That was the main reason for me getting into that side of things, hormone reset, because as ladies, as I said, you go through the menopause, perimenopause, and I see how it impacts ladies so much. And people or women tend to see as a normal thing. So we have the brain fogs and the fatigue, and it's a common thing, but I wouldn't say it's normal. And don't just don't just sit there and suffer and accept it, because when I went to see my doctor at the time wasn't very helpful. He basically told me to go away and get on with it, and that's not fair. There are ways. So I use a natural way. I'm not demonizing like HRTs and all the other things out there to help, but I like a natural approach to dealing with balancing your hormones. And that's why I have set up I've got a 12-week hormone balance program, mainly for midlife, or for women from 40 and above. I have a lot of 50-year-olds who are showing a lot of interest in it. And what I do is go through them and just sort of go through what they go, what's the word I'm looking for? Sorry, I've just gone blank. Just put strategies in place and analyze the symptoms, so I can put together ways to balance it with food and stress resilience and exercise, because it seems basic things. Obviously, I've got practical things as well that helps with all, the usual challenges that we face in midlife, but it's more of a natural approach. So I show women how to eat to balance their insulin, because it's not all about just the sex hormones, which is what a lot of people, as soon as you say hormone, people think, oh, estrogen and progesterone, which it is to a certain extent, but there are other more important hormones that are part of the whole process. So that's what I do. I help women reset, look at how they eat, change the way they live, get them to move, do more movement, more exercise, and stress resilience. Because my main mantra is diet isn't just about what you eat, it's about what you put up there, it's about your thoughts. And we were saying earlier, it's the sort of people that you have around you to support you. If you have a lot of negativity, that in itself can impact you. And when I say exercise, I don't just mean going for runs, it's even exercising the brain, because the brain, for keeping the brain, doing things, puzzles, going to university in your 50s, just doing new things, starting a business at whatever age you feel like, just to keep because the brain's malleable. The brain's not, there's no set thing like you're this age and that's it. You can't do anything. And I'm living proof. When I first went to university, I struggled. I couldn't remember anything, but I still ended up doing extremely well. So if it can happen for me, it can happen for anybody. So yeah, that's my message.
So yes, so to wrap that up, it is your diet is not just your physical diet, it's your emotional diet and your mental diet, the thoughts you feed
Absolutely.
yourself with, the emotions you entertain in your life,
Absolutely.
and the physical diet. So
Absolutely.
when
It's
you're
all
eating your
part and part. Yeah.
Mhm. And the exercise is not just a physical exercise, not just the lifting weights,
Hmm.
but it's the mental exercise too,
It's the
and the
mental exercise.
emotional exercise, going back to your thoughts. Thoughts lead
Hmm.
to things. So what are the thoughts you're feeding yourself that is creating your physical reality? What are the emotions you're entertaining? What are the choices
Absolutely.
you're making? What are the decisions you are taking? Even in
Absolutely.
yes, all of that. So it is a very holistic approach that Amelia has, that I have participated in, and I am getting great results. And your hormones are affected by your food, and your food affects your hormones. And this food,
Absolutely.
remember, is all at all levels: your mental food, your emotional food, your physical food. So if
Physical
you're
food.
having a TV dinner, sorry, you're actually eating all the words that is being spewed out of the speakers of your television. So
Absolutely.
she takes us through this entire holistic approach where you can come out looking as drop dead gorgeous as her
Thank you, Keya. Thank you so
at
much.
this day and age. And with the loss of her brother, the loss of her husband, oh my God, my prayers are
Thank
forever with
you.
them. And
Thank you
you are
so
always in
much.
my heart. And
Thank
I
you,
will see
Keya.
you really soon. All right.
Thank you so, so much. Thank you
Take
very much.
care. Love
Thank
you.
you. I
Bye.
love you too. Thank you. Bye bye.